Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Ravenberg here again. The topic that I'm going to cover is going to be a rehashing of a couple of old videos that I made. In total, it were 3 videos called Magic for Layman. But again, this was ages ago, and it is directly linked to the article and embedded in the article Magic for Beginners. So, again, I'm just going to do this video over again and in a better way. It's going to be shorter too, I think. Um, as usual, everything you need, including the link to the article called Magic for Beginners, is in the description below. So again, this article is for people that are absolute beginners and that have no idea where to start. First off, I'd like to say I'd strongly like to advise anyone to read the article. Okay, read the article. That will go a long way because it has links. Not links, it has books mentioned in it that are self-help books or instructional workbooks for several magical systems. Okay, so yeah, where do I begin? The first thing that you ask yourself if you want to become a magician, a real magician, not an illusionist or a stage performer. If you're a magician, if you have magical aspirations in the sense that you want to learn how to work with spirits, and how to work with them in order to achieve any goal that you practically or basically desire. How do you go about it? Okay, where do you begin? Such a question can be incredibly difficult and hard, okay, to answer, and it is hard for someone new to find his or her way. Okay, you basically ask yourself, is there anyone that gives away courses? Are there instructional workbooks that teach me how to become a magician, how to work with spirits, what I need to do, and so on? And the answer is yes in both cases, but I'm not going to discuss the former because, again, it all depends on your location, where you are in the world, and even if you are in a country where people give away courses, it's possible that you'll have to travel. For example, in the US, you'd have to travel extensively. You'd have to go to an entirely different state in order to get that done. Or if you're not careful, you can cross the border to Canada, into Canada to get to your so-called future tutor. Um, in any case, I'm going to discuss things that you need to keep in mind, okay, to become a magician. Okay, these are basically preliminaries, things that you really need to take into consideration. You need to, for one, or for starters, you need to realize that it's going to be incredibly difficult. Okay, magic is no walk in the park. If you want to achieve anything worthwhile, you'll have to devote yourself entirely to it. Okay, even if you only want to practice at a hobby-like level or an intermediate or light level. Again, learning how to practice magic effectively is not going to happen overnight. You really need to get on the bandwagon, similar to working. Okay, that's what it's like. You need to seriously stay on it. A lot of mistakes that a lot of people make is that they lose interest. They have a brief supernatural interest. I mean, a brief superficial interest. Superficial interest. And they don't do anything. Okay, when it really comes down to it, they don't continue. Okay, so consistency is key. Staying on it is key. You need to keep on it. Okay, the same way that, for example, if you have a job, you work for years. Okay, in this case, it won't be because you have to, but that's the problem too. If you're really serious about it, about practicing, then you need to stay on it. Okay, that's one thing that you need to understand. The second part is that it is going to take a good deal of effort and investment too. Aside from time and energy, it's also going to be a brief, at the very least, a brief or small or minor superficial interest. Okay, you're gonna have to spend some money to acquire set tools and things that you need in order to grow magically, in order to advance your spiritual enlightenment, your level of spiritual enlightenment. So you need to be willing to set some money aside for that too. Other than the two before mentioned or aforementioned, you also need to simply ask yourself what it is that interests you the most. What kind of magic do you want to practice? Are you interested in working with the dead? Are you interested in working with higher rank spirits like angels and demons? Are you interested? Are you more of a pagan, or are you more paganish in nature? Do you have an interest in working more with old gods, as in with paganish gods, for example, the Norse gods or Egyptian gods, you name it? You need to set yourself up first. It's basically like making a blueprint for yourself, or a map. What do you want, okay? Magically speaking, what kind of spirits do you want to work with, and so on. Another important thing is that you need to know yourself, okay? Know thyself. You need to know exactly what your strengths and strong suits are, and weaknesses are regarding, specifically regarding magical practice, okay? Otherwise, you're just going to put in a lot of effort for nothing. And divination is definitely something that you need to learn, okay? Even at a basic level, the first thing you need to do before practicing at all is to learn divination, how to divinate, whether it be astrology, tarot card readings, and so on. You need to learn this first, okay? You need to make use and learn, or you need to learn and make use of these divinatory methods first before you can, so that you have a gauging mechanism, an accurate gauging mechanism, to which you can compare them, you know, what's best for you and what you'll be most successful in based on your personality overall. Otherwise, let's just say as an example that you want to practice necromancy, then necromancy is not your thing, then you are going to literally just go through the entire process of learning how to be a necromancer without any result. So that's one thing that you need to keep in mind. For some personal reason or something regarding your personality, it just turns out that you're not adept, or you're not meant to be a necromancer. That's what you need to keep in mind, okay? Otherwise, you're doing all of that effort for nothing, okay? You're making all of that effort for nothing. It's like going to a location, going 20 miles, okay, heading out of the house, and going to a store for 20 miles, that's 20 miles away, and that turns out to be closed or out of business. And then you're going to kick yourself or hit yourself in the head and ask yourself or tell yourself, why didn't I look up this information to begin with, or why didn't I call first, or why didn't I just look up to the point where I saw that they were out of business or that they were closed? Why didn't I look up their opening hours? Similar to that. Other magical systems, I'm going to list magical systems now, okay? Of course, these aren't all magical systems. I might have missed one or two of them. But main magical systems that you need to keep in mind are what? Necromancy, Wicca, just general witchcraft, ceremonial magic, specifically Western ceremonial magic, Enochian magic, and let's see, is there anything else that I missed? Folk magic, like African traditional religious forms of magic. Voodoo is an example, you name it. These are all magical systems, okay? The new avatar power, also a magical system. Chaos magic, also a magical system. Again, you read the article, okay? I have a list of books outlined based on magical system, okay? Instructional workbook at the end of the article. So you can see, for example, which book will suit you the best and which book you can use, okay? These books are, according to my knowledge and experience, some of the best books that you'll find, and in some cases, some of the only books that you'll find on the topics that I mentioned, okay? That will literally teach you step by step how to become this and how to become that. If you want to become a ceremonial magician, these books will teach you, okay, how to become a ceremonial magician in a step-by-step instructional fashion, as in do this, do that, this is how you're supposed to do this is what you need, buy this, buy that, and so on. So these are the things that you need to keep in mind, okay, in order to successfully become a magician. Once you've achieved all of that, which will not be easy, I'm telling you right now, I'm not scaring off anyone, but do keep in mind that you need to really set yourself up and brace yourself, because the road to becoming a successful magician is all but easy, but any magician will tell you that. And once you've managed to learn how to work with spirits effectively and in order to obtain results, then you're good to go. That is basically it. Thanks for watching. Bye.